The new government spending bill approved by Congress includes language making streaming unlicensed work a federal felony. Now, currently it's a misdemeanor. However, making it a federal felony includes prison time and hefty fines. And this was something that was slipped into the bill by Republican Senator Thom Tillis. Here are the issues with it. It's had very little time to circulate before evidently becoming part of the spending package. Now, if passed, meaning if Donald Trump signs this bill, illegal streaming of works, including movies and music tracks, could carry a penalty of up to 10 years in jail. The spending bill also appears to adopt a long discussed plan to create a small claims adjudication system within the US Copyright Office. Critics say it could help copyright trolls and giant companies go after ordinary internet users, which it definitely will. People found to have shared a copyrighted piece of content could be penalized with a fine of up to $30,000 according to the bill's text. So there are many reasons to be concerned about this, because consider the fact that independent news, for instance, I'll talk about what I have some expertise on. Independent news does rely on fair use, of course, content in order to tell a story. So whenever we toss to a video, we do it in order to help our audience understand the gravity of the story or to put things in context. But let's say we're using a video from CNN or something like that. Well, that's the intellectual property of CNN, right? And so what ends up happening with platforms that use algorithms to deal with copyrighted issues or copyright issues is, yeah, it's an algorithm. It's not an actual person making the decision as to whether or not something is protected under fair use. And I think that this type of legislation is going to make various online platforms even more draconian in the way that they handle copyright claims. So it's a complete and utter disaster for independent media. There's this argument that, oh, no, don't worry. This is only gonna impact people who use copyrighted material for commercial use, meaning if you have a show or something that is monetized. Well, yeah, no, then that's everyone. That's pretty much everyone in independent media that relies on these types of platforms in order to remain sustainable, honestly. And by the way, this is way more likely to impact small independent streamers, not just on YouTube, but on places like Twitch as well, along with independent news shows. A felony streaming bill, as someone from the Electronic Frontier Foundation says, would likely be a chill on expression. We already see that it's hard enough in just civil copyright and the DMCA for people to feel comfortable asserting their rights. The chance of a felony would impact both expression and innovation. So Cenk, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, so there's a number of very important things in this story. So number one, I want you to understand how broad it can be. One of the examples given is if you use copyrighted music in an Instagram post. But wait a minute, tons and tons of people do that. But technically you're not a user at that point, you're a publisher, because you published it onto Instagram. You didn't just watch somebody else's copyrighted music for free, you put it up there. You're going to jail for up to 10 years. Now, why do they do this insane law? Because of corruption, and that leads to point number two. See, this is why I get so disgusted by mainstream media. That's why you gotta read The Intercept, American Prospect, all of these folks that are actually Daily Poster now, that are doing great journalism, and yes, TYT.com as well. We have a great investigative team. And so what mainstream media didn't tell you is Thom Tillis, who backed this, who's the sponsor of this, has taken over $100,000 from the movie industry right before his election. So remember, he won that election by just 2 points. He's a Republican in North Carolina. Now the Republicans turn around and go, liberal Hollywood, disgusting, money, give me the money, give me the money. I'll do anything for you. I'll do anything. I'll ban all your competitors. I'll do crony capitalism. Just give me the money. And they give him over $100,000. And then Thom Tillis turns around right after the election and goes, first priority, I gotta protect liberal Hollywood. By the way, if you're a right winger, you think they're not gonna come for you? You schmucks, they're gonna come for you first. Anything where you made a transgression, on anything that's copyrighted, gone. Which leads to the next point. It's perfect for censorship. Well, what do corporate Democrats and corporate Republicans love? They love the mainstream media because they never cover their real problems. In fact, they cover up for their real problems, and then all they ever do is compliment them. Oh, bipartisanship, that's so great. And Joe Pelosi's a master legislator. And it goes on and on and on. Marco Rubio, what a young star in the Republican Party. Of course, they love the mainstream media, but they hate independent media. They hate independent voices online. This is a backdoor way of killing it. It's for profit and it's for political expedience. And it's not just Republicans. Amy Klobuchar tried this about 10 years ago. And luckily, this is really funny and true. Justin Bieber beat her back then, okay? And he prevented it. I'm not kidding. It's a hilarious story, okay? But now they're like, ooh, now we tried a corporate Democrat. By the way, how much is Klobuchar taken from the movie and media industry overall? It's her 5th largest donor over the last 5 years. She's taken $462,000. She's like, Tillis, you're late to the party, man. I already cashed in for nearly $500,000 from these guys. Booyah! So when she tried the same thing those years back, we were able to beat it back. So they're like, oh, corporate Democrat didn't work. Let's try a corporate Republican. That way it'll neuter the Republican side when they talk about liberal Hollywood. Oh, good thinking. And liberal Hollywood helped that right winger beat a Democrat in North Carolina. Remind me again how they're liberal? No, all they care about is their profits.
Right, and just to give you a little bit more information about the difference between Klobuchar and Tillis, Klobuchar's proposal specifically targeted, just private citizens who use copyrighted material. In this case, with Tillis's proposal, they're trying to pretend as if it's better because they're only targeting people who use copyrighted material in commercial use. But it actually doesn't make it better because, as I stated, independent media uses that kind of material under fair use, by the way, in their broadcasts. But if you are an independent streamer, you're not going to have the resources necessary to defend yourself. It takes resources in order to do that. And this sets up a whole system that overwhelmingly benefits these giant movie studios and music production companies and all of that, as opposed to average people who are just trying to break out of this system of gatekeepers in the press to do their own independent content. So it is a huge problem. And right now it appears that if Donald Trump signs this giant spending bill, it will pass and we'll see what the consequences are in real time.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.